Hello everyone, it is I, Mark Major here, and this is the Action Figuratorium. You can actually see some action figures back there, but don't look too closely because, you know, I don't want to frighten people with the sheer amount of toys that are compiled in this room. Instead, we're going to be focusing today on a new wave of toys being released by the Four Horsemen in their Cosmic Legions wave. That's right, it's a new wave of Cosmic Legions. And even though I made a statement in my previous Four Horsemen video I did on the upcoming kind of summer sale that they were doing, that I wouldn't follow and report on every single crumb that the Four Horsemen does, and I try to be kind of good about that. I try to only save Four Horsemen videos for when I think it's really needed. And I'm going to say that today's Cosmic Legions pre-order release falls into that category. I think we should talk about it because I don't know that the line is doing that particularly well. And I think it might be because science fiction and science fantasy, space opera is kind of a fickle thing to crack if you can do it like the way George Lucas did with Star Wars, which is essentially to kind of take a lot of those French artists who were making stories in Heavy Metal magazine and bring that to the big screen. You can do extremely well, but if you kind of slip and miss and you just can't quite catch people, then you have kind of a dead franchise. So we're going to talk about that today. Coming up on the Action Figuratorium, everybody strap on the leather and hold on tight. So welcome back to everybody who took a vacation with me last week. I took the week off from making videos. I had to also sort of detox from San Diego Comic-Con, not because I didn't go, but because of the sheer amount of videos that were covering every single thing in there, and it's more than I could handle. But I'm back today. It's a great summer. We're having a good time, having a smoothie that I got at the cafeteria next door. It's a great time to be alive, people. Okay, let's take a look at the Cosmic Legions wave that is up for pre-order here over on desktop view. I don't know how to pronounce OxKrewe Book 2 Horror Zone. For those of you that don't know, Four Horsemen is a really large independent toy company located in New Jersey who does a very popular line of fantasy action figures called Mythic Legions. I myself am a big fan. I cherry pick and choose and buy lots and lots of Mythic Legions figures, and it also influences some of the other figures I buy. I will go out of my way to get other characters that I think could play nice with Mythic Legions. For example, I'm building an entire kind of team of just Elven action figures, sort of centered around some of the Elven action figures you can get from Mythic Legions, okay? So I'm personally vested in it, and I love that kind of stuff. Now, Cosmic Legions was another toy line they launched to sort of also put their creative energies into something that wasn't Mythic Legions, but was kind of like Mythic Legions, right? In this case, it's Cosmic Legions, and they're sci-fi, space fantasy action figures. And I have personally bought 3 so far. I bought a couple of the humanoid looking people, and I bought like a bug man from like one of the first waves. So I'm kind of vested a little bit financially in it, but here's the thing. I have yet to crack open any of my Cosmic Legions. I got them and I looked at them, I said, okay, interesting, and I just sort of put them away. And I thought, well, you know, I have so much stuff to enjoy in life. If I don't really get to these, right? If I don't get to these, maybe I sell them and make a buck or two and put that money towards maybe some Mythic Legions. So let's look and see exactly what we got going on here. On this other tab, I have the store open so we can see how much they cost. And this tab is where we can actually look at them. So they have an offering of 8 things, 7 figures, actually 6 figures amount, and then an accessories pack, that's our 8 things. One, two, three, four of the figures are $37. The two other figures are $48, and the mount is $48. $25 for the accessory kit. If you are looking to buy something to resell, right, if you're looking for some type of investment, I always suggest lightly that people maybe buy the accessory packs. They're inexpensive. You can get a bunch of them, and a lot of people skip that stuff. But when they go looking for them later on in life, a couple years go by, and they're like, yeah, I should get one of these accessory packs. But now that, you know, that's where you can make your money if you're one of those invest in toy people kind of things. You know, buy some, put them away, bring them back when they've aged like a fine wine or cheese wine, whatever you want. So I always recommend accessory packs. Let's just look at it real quick so we can kind of get this out of the way. It looks like they're giving you a couple of cool sort of crates that look like they came from some sort of, you know, Doom video game or something like that. And you get some tools, bolt cutters, flashlight, some kind of stick, some kind of an antenna. I don't know. For antenna, I always just use clip a guitar string, and you can paint it if you want. But you know, so this might be something that you maybe spend $50, get a couple of these, put them away. If you're looking for this kind of stuff, this crate stuff, you're going to find a lot of people who are doing 3D prints of things like this. And I think if you go to the eBays or some of these other shops, these online 3D print shops, I think you can find a lot of this stuff. But this might be cool for some of you who need some of these things. The bolt cutters looks especially cool if you ask me. But let's get into the action figures, the $37 guys. So let's start with this dude. We're just going to run through these real quick. He's some sort of a humanoid guy, but it looks like he's got kind of a, it's like a jet fighter helmet with the gas mask kind of thing, a shield, and then a giant mace. So he's some kind of, you know, astronaut, cosmonaut, gladiator guy. And alternate head that, you know, you can see what he really looks like underneath, some sort of blue weirdo with a kind of a cool space marine gun. And I really like the yellow and brown colors and the scarf. I think it's a good looking fig, guys. I think he's a good looking fig. All right, let's take a look at this dude, who I believe is also $37. He's one of these insect guys. You know, I think you know what you're getting. It's got a kind of cool sort of bumblebee look to him. It's got the wings. Got the feet, got a little bit of, you can see they're reusing here, this like armor on them, they're reusing, and the pauldrons, they're starting to reuse their Mythic Legions pieces. In the Cosmic Legions, they're starting to sort of blend the two. I think that's a good move. And of course you get like the weird insect head, and then you get the weird also insect head. Very cool. Thraxian Hunter. This guy is got a pretty cool head where he's wearing like this bone sort of thing on it. It's sort of like he's wearing, that's what he looks like without it, but this is where he's like all angry, and he's got some kind of a helmet made out of, you know, some sort of carcass or creature. It's like he's wearing a dead animal, you know, bone as his armor. Bone armor is what this is. I really like this shawl. This looks pretty cool. I don't know how they're able to mass produce this thing to make it look like all the same. You know, I guess they have some kind of a fabric ripping machine and a guy who pokes off. I don't know what they do, but this is some really top level action figure creation here with all the soft goods. Then there is this guy is kind of a humanoid with like a jock strap on, let's see, is this a man or a woman? This is a woman, okay. And also big giant kind of space mace. Again, the soft goods on these things, the way they integrate all the pieces together, the colors, really, really high-end design. And to get these guys for $37, I think is kind of a coup. I think they're kind of worth more than that. So good on the Four Horsemen. So that is the four $37 guys. Let's look at the $48 guys. Or, yeah, 48 bucks. So that means they're going to be a little bit bigger, right? You're going to get kind of sort of big beefcakes. This is kind of cool. It's like an astronaut, but with like some sort of a space camel inside of it. I think that that's kind of neat. I think that could be, that would be just, this guy just looks cool just as is. Just put him on the shelf as a badass. And he comes with some sort of a, looks like he comes with the bolt cutters as well. Yeah, so it looks like they're reusing the bolt cutters, different paint scheme from the accessory pack. That might be some kind of a weird camel tail. This guy is cool. This guy is super cool. You guys should not sleep on these, that's for sure. Then this guy has got really great soft goods and a really cool helmet. If we scroll to the last image there, that's what he really looks like. This is a weird alien, and the soft goods really, in my opinion, makes it stand out. So all groovy. And then the last thing we're going to look at is the mount, and that is this thing here. And I'm sure it's probably a little smaller than a horse, but probably bigger than a something, you know, because it's only 48 bucks, not 55 or even $65. But look at all that stuff on the saddle and the pack. This is very neat. This is the kind of thing that would work well with your Black Series guys. I bet you could, you know, throw Mando and Grogu on this and have them, you know, hang out at go to some bars together. I don't know, whatever they want to do. So that is the basic offering of the Cosmic Legions. It looks like it's a pretty strong offering for this kind of stuff. I have to say, though, that Cosmic Legions has not yet hooked me on whatever it is. It's this kind of space opera RPG sort of thing with these alien races, and the setting is some type of space prison where everybody battles, that sort of thing, and there's different races who run it and control it, and there's guards and sentries and scientists and prisoners and all this stuff. Kind of cool, but you can't really follow it from looking at the figures the way you can from Mythic Legions. So remember, with Mythic Legions, there is no comic book, there is no movie, there is no book, there is only like a little bit of backstory. I mean, there's a video game that's in the works, that's been in the works for kind of a while now, but there is no backstory other than like a page of text on the website that tells you about the Mythic Legions characters. However, with Mythic Legions, you see a skeleton in armor, and from the fantasy world we get it. It's a skeleton in armor. You see an ogre, you go, okay, it's an ogre, or that's an orc, or that's a, you know, a wizard, or that's a knight. Those are all kind of archetypes and tropes that work over and over and over again, and that's one of the reasons why fantasy lines such as Papo and Schleich and Safari, who do like the little figurines that you can get at like high-end toy stores and gift shops and stuff like that. That's why that stuff is still around. It's why that stuff still has a good resale value. It's why that stuff is still being made. It's why people still buy that stuff. Is these tropes work for the toys. You see a knight, you see a wizard, you get it, right? There's a dragon, you get it. But you don't get that with the Cosmic Legions figures, right? You see an Insect Man, you're like, is he good? Is he bad? Like on these guys, I don't know if any one of these characters is a single like named hero, or if it's an army builder. Like, yeah, this is like, you know, stormtrooper equivalent of whatever. I don't understand or can follow any of these characters or figures just based upon their looks. I mean, I see like Insect Men, they've got wings. I can bet that they go together, but I don't know for sure. I don't really know any of this stuff for sure. And I think that that may be the reason why they're unable to actually hook people on this line and have the same kind of attention in sales that they do for Mythic Legions. And I know a lot of you are going like, well, what do you mean? These guys are probably selling like hotcakes. These are really popular. Well, let's go to the Cosmic Legions action figure tab I have open on eBay. And I think I'm on page 2, because the first page is all like accessories and 3D print heads and, you know, hands and stuff like that. And we get to a character, right, a Cosmic Legion action figure. And this is one that, like, if you saw my previous video, I said, like, this is a really ugly character, ugly face, ugly colors, probably not going to sell that well. And here it is. It's at the bottom of the stack. You can get them for 35 bucks free shipping. Guess how much it was from Four Horsemen, the pre-order? It was $37, and you had to pay whatever their shipping was. And at the time, they didn't have a flat $10 shipping like they do now. A lot of people got to do the flat shipping, otherwise it just makes, you know, if a toy is 20 bucks and it's another $10 to ship it, half the, you know, over half a cost of what the toy is in shipping. That means that you know, it just makes the value of the toy, the cost go up and the value kind of go down. So 35 bucks means that they're selling these things for less than you paid in the pre-order, right? And then here's another guy, $34.99, 35 bucks, right? Here's a whole $35.99. Everybody is competing in a race to the bottom to get rid of these things. They're at this point, these guys who are reselling them, they're just trying to get their money back. They've got all this money held up in these Cosmic Legions figures that they bought, and they got to sell them, or else, you know, they've got hundreds of dollars just sitting there. They need to put that hundreds of dollars into something that sells so they can turn it. The faster you can turn something, right? If you can turn one of these things in 5 times the amount of time it take to turn one, that's how you can make your money. If it's sitting there on the shelf, it's dead stock, right? Unless you just do the thing that I say, where you buy some, you put them away, maybe your kids find them later and they sell them, but that doesn't mean that you're going to enjoy them. So if you look at the Cosmic Legions, you can see that there are plenty that you can buy on eBay for cheaper than what the pre-order was. So if anyone out there doesn't, you know, thinks that, like, oh, I don't know what's going on in terms of like this, you can see that it's not selling, right? Like, they sell through their pre-orders, they get them to the resellers, and then after the initial people who are, you know, I guess the term would be for simps, people just instantly like gobble up and consume, right? Whatever it is, no matter what it is, whatever the price is, they just get it like, oh, I'm just going to buy all in, like, and they just click, 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 and they don't even look at what they're getting, right? After those guys are gone, it's just not grabbing people. There's an excess of stock sitting here, and I bet you if you went to some of these toy cons, these toy conventions, the Comic Cons and stuff like that, that the Four Horsemen have booths at, I think you're going to find a lot of these guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if they mark them down, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Cosmic Legion sale by the end of the year in which they blow out a whole bunch of these guys kind of cheap. Similar to the sale they did with Mythic Legions, where they did a thing, it was a blind box thing where you got something really good that everybody wanted, and then you got something kind of crap that nobody wanted, and that kind of crap ended up being this goblin called Swig. Everybody got a Swig. I got a Swig, all right? We all took a swig, if you know what I mean. So I could see that happening to Cosmic Legions. And I guess the main thing that I'm trying to stress with this video is that as I showed you, as cool as the Cosmic Legions guys are, right? And like the soft goods and the colors on them and the design of those astronaut suits, those cosmonaut suits, and the weird, you know, space camels and the accessories they give you, that is like peak toy design right now. That is some of the best looking stuff out there. But it just doesn't seem to be catching people because it lacks those type of archetypes that the fantasy world has. And that's the problem with space operas. You got to find a way to hook people in something that they can understand just by visually looking at it. If you have a vision for this creative world that only you know, chances are people aren't going to be able to get into it, and the sales are going to suffer a little bit. So that is it for this episode and my look and take on the existing Cosmic Legions line. Is Cosmic Legions going to continue on into the future if it seems to be lagging in sales a little bit? Not sure how much longer they're going to push this or fill it out, because they are selling them and they do make money and they need to make money and they need to sell more things to stay in business. And so maybe they just kind of scale back and we're going to see maybe waves in the future, maybe like only 4 guys come out or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But thanks to everybody who made it this far in the video. If you're not liking and subscribing, that's on you. It's not on me. All right, everybody, stay charged.